In 1966, a small town in West Virginia started seeing something in the sky. Something with wings, something with eyes that glowed red in the dark, something that moved faster than anything alive should be able to move. 13 months later, disaster struck, and people started asking a question that has never been fully answered. Was it a warning? This is the Mothman series. I have here 5 parts: the original sightings, the disaster nobody saw coming, the description that haunted witnesses for the rest of their lives, the strange man who showed up to silence people, and the modern sightings that prove this is far from over. Stay close. Echoes Obscura. The dark has a story, and I tell it. The original sightings. It started on a black road. 2 couples, one night, and something they could never explain for the rest of their lives. November 15, 1966, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. 2 young couples were driving near an old abandoned munition plant locals called the TNT area. That is when they saw it. A massive figure, gray, standing over 6 foot tall, with enormous wings folded against its back, and 2 large red eyes that reflected their headlights like burning coals. They drove away fast. It followed them, keeping pace with their car at over 100 miles per hour without even fully spreading its wings. They went straight to the police, and over the next 13 months, they were not alone. Over 100 people in and around Point Pleasant reported seeing the same thing. Same wings, same height, same red eyes. Nobody could explain it. Nobody could debunk it. And nobody who saw it ever forget it. The Silver Bridge collapse. For 13 months, the Mothman appeared. And then on December 15, 1967, it stopped. Because something far worse happened. The Silver Bridge connected Point Pleasant, West Virginia, to Ohio. On that December evening, it was packed with rush hour traffic, and then it fell. The entire bridge collapsed in seconds. 46 people lost their lives. It remains one of the most devastating infrastructure disasters in the American history. The Mothman sighting stopped completely after that night. Not one report after the collapse. People started connecting the timeline. The creature had been appearing for over a year, circling the town, and then vanished the exact moment tragedy arrived. Was it a warning nobody knew how to read? A messenger that came too early, or something that fed on disaster itself? Investigators blamed a single corroded eyebar in a bridge chain. But the people of Point Pleasant had a different answer. They had been visited and they had not understood why until it was too late. The description. Over 100 witnesses. And here's what is nearly impossible to explain. They all described the same thing. People who never spoke each other. Same creature every time. The consistency is what gets you. Witnesses described a humanoid figure standing between 6 and 7 feet tall. Broad shoulders, no visible neck. The head seemed to sit directly on the body. The wings were enormous, spanning 10 feet or even more, and unlike any bird. Witnesses said they did not flap the way wings should. The creature seemed to glide effortlessly, rising without effort. But the eyes are what stayed with people. Large, bright red, glowing from within, not reflecting light, generating it. Multiple witnesses reported feeling paralyzed when it looked at them. Not physically unable to move, but mentally frozen, like something was looking directly into them. Several reported nightmares for months afterwards, strange dreams, vision they could not shake. Some said they never fully felt normal again. The Man in Black. Within days of the first Mothman sightings, witnesses started getting visitors. Strange men, dark suits, asking questions they had no business knowing the answers to. This part of the story almost never gets told. Across Point Pleasant, multiple witnesses reported the same experience. A knock at the door, men in dark suits, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, who already knew the details about the sightings that had never been made public. They asked witnesses not to talk about what they saw. Some described the man oddly stiff, speaking in a flat, strange way, like someone performing the idea of a normal conversation without quite pulling it off. One witness described a visitor whose skin looked wrong under the light, pale in a way that did not look healthy. Researcher John Keel documented dozens of these encounters in his investigation of Point Pleasant. Nobody ever identified who these men were. No agency claimed them. No organization came forward. They simply appeared, asked their question, and vanished. Modern sightings. Most people think that the Mothman stayed in 1967. It didn't. And what happened in Chicago in 2017 made the entire world pay attention again. Between April and September 2017, over 50 separate witnesses in Chicago, Illinois reported seeing a massive winged figure in the sky. 50 people, one city, 6 months. The description matched Point Pleasant almost exactly. Large humanoid shape, enormous wingspan, glowing red eyes, moving at speeds no bird could reach. Sightings were reported near the lakefront, above the highway, around the O'Hare Airport. People pulled over their cars. People stopped on the street, pointed up. Researchers Lon Stickler and Tobias Wayland collected and published the reports. The cases were too enormous and too consistent to dismiss easily. And Chicago was not alone. Sightings have been reported in Virginia, in Texas, in Canada. Point Pleasant put the Mothman on the map, but the Mothman never stayed there. It goes where it wants, and lately it seems to want cities. 5 parts, one creature that has been seen across decades and across the entire country. The sightings never stopped. The witnesses never stopped. And nobody has ever come close to a real answer. This is why you should subscribe to Echoes Obscura. Follow on every platform because the dark has a story and I tell it.